So Bitcoin's floating around the 61,700 level, playing lots of games. We had PPI today. We've got Joe Powell speaking at the moment. So there's a lot of chop that we are seeing in the market. But at the moment, it's all about this GME and this GME situation with this major pumping happening to the GME stocks, and then the subsequent meme attacks that have been going on with all these pumps happening all over the place. So is this the start of a potential meme run? Is there a meme season? Well, I'm going to show you guys some memes that I'm going to be looking at that I think could maybe start taking off once we get some traction here. And I've got 4 or 5 setups that I've got for you on some other tokens that could be playing out on this current weakness. So we got so much to talk about today. Let's get right into this. Bringing some more fire there for you guys. I hope you're liking my new little phoenix there, or whatever it's called. Okay, so if we look at the current state of affairs there on Banter Bubbles, things are red. Okay, what is shining out here? Peppy is pumping 6%. Well, I mean, with everything in a sea of red, I'd say 6% is considered pumpage. And look at Floki. It's alive. And this is just a sign for us as to what is going on with these meme coins. So what you can do on Banter Bubbles, actually just go to the top here, and you can click this top 100 sign, and you can actually filter it out. So I'm going to highlight memes, and now I've got a representation of the top 100 memes today. And you can see these things are popping off here. And this GME, believe it or not, was up something like 400% up at one point today. And NPC, another big one, 45%. And I see Ponky has started moving. So we definitely need to get some Ponky out here today. Ray, are you trading meme coins yet, or are you still you still abstaining?
Abstinence. Full abstinence.
Well, then you've missed out on 37% on Ponky, bro. You missed out on pumps, on all these things. Okay, let's see what are these guys doing with us right now with the market. I haven't enjoyed watching these current Bitcoin candles. They've been playing so many games here with us at the moment, but the old reliable 618 has come to play one more time here. So what am I watching at the moment? You can see we've got a 618 fib, we've got some trend support, and we've got some horizontal. So we do have our low marker for the day. So I'm going to highlight the absolute lows from this dump today, and this can be a nice guide for us as our exit plan if things start turning south. So the number one level you want to pay attention to now are the lows from earlier today. That is 61k on the button. You can see they bounced really hard off that, and a little bit volatility here with the PPI news, and then Joe Powell speaking, and he's sounding not very confident on things about their 2% target and all those things happening, and that is definitely playing out in the current candle situation that you're seeing. So what am I watching now? 61k. That is your big level you're watching today. A little bit higher. Let's play with a 618, 61,350. So look out for 61,350 potentially as well, and 61k. These are both sort of semi-bullish levels still that I would pay attention to for the downside. And then what do we want to see upside? Very simple play here. We really want to start reclaiming the 62k. As soon as we can get up there, start finding support in this region, then I'd say the bulls will start stepping in, and we're going to start pushing this higher. So upside targets 63,400 that you're watching, 61k downside, and then a temporary little one you can play around 61,300. Watch these levels today. These are probably going to come into play, and also leading into CPI. Now we had PPI, which is a little starter portion as to what could be happening here with the markets, and it came in flat. The S&P's responded well. I'm going to show you that chart in a minute. And now CPI tomorrow, that's the big one. And there's a lot of speculation that CPI is actually going to come in quite bullish for the markets here. So the guys are definitely starting to position themselves and maybe waiting with a bit of anticipation as to what is going to be happening. But let's get into what is still out here in the news, and it's all about this current GME situation. And I mean, DJ News just reporting here they halted trading again today. So yesterday they halted trading something like 10 times or 12 times. The shorters got absolutely rinsed in this whole process, and they halted trading again. So that means they basically shut it down. So you can't buy, you can't sell, you can't do anything. They try and let the market cool off when these things are pumping like this. And I mean, it makes kind of sense why they would want to start switching things off when the chart is absolutely ripping like this. This is the daily chart. And look how this thing has just been gapping up here non-stop for the last couple of days. Look at the size of these gaps while this thing is popping. I mean, it's insanity. They absolutely rinsing these institutions. These guys have been shorting. So they spotted a lot of shorts lining up and they got involved again. And the story, I've actually got a video for you guys that's going to explain the story for you, and it will simplify it for those of you that don't know what is going on. So I don't want to say I love this, but I mean, short sellers of GME and AMC.
I love this.
Down $3.5 billion today, bro. That's a lot. How do you explain that to your boss? When you went to him, you said to him, I've got a really great idea. I'm going to short this GameStop. And this roaring kitty has been quiet for 2 or 3 years. The guy's disappeared. So everybody thought they could go and just short GameStop again unnoticed. But this guy's been watching them. And he's come back alive. And you saw the story from yesterday. And here's a little video clip that I want to just play for you guys. It summarizes it for you quite nicely. So for those of you that don't even know what we're talking about or what GME is, let me just play you this little video quickly. Ray, just confirm that you can hear the sound when I push play here.
He's back. Deep effing value, better known as Roaring Kitty, 𝗕𝗘𝗙, the charismatic trader who helped rally the retail investor into a GameStop squeeze back in January 2021, has posted 2x for the first time in over 3 years after being silent since appearing before the House Financial Committee. Roaring Kitty is seen as a hero to many for taking on the big boys of Wall Street and making them lose a lot of money after GameStop squeezed. And now the internet of investors are going crazy to see him back, with post after post after post being reposted and talking about his return. As for the stock, well, you can see for yourself what this one post has done to it, as it has risen more than 20% as of Monday, May 13th. So, is this the beginning of a new squeeze for the stock? Will we see a flood of retail investors coming back into the market so they don't miss out? What will Roaring Kitty post next? Well, we shall see in the coming days. So stay tuned. And as Roaring Kitty would say, I like the stock.
I like the stock. Okay, so you get the basic picture as to what is going on now. So if you don't know what GME is or GME was or what the story was, now you understand roughly what is happening here. And this guy's just come alive after all these years and has just come back with a vengeance. And the community has dived in. And we've noticed these meme tokens absolutely flying based on this, with all the spirit, and in spite of this market falling over. And I just loved Plato's Cave. This guy's tweet was so cool. He says Roaring Kitty, okay, this 𝗕𝗘𝗙 guy. He says he's playing 4D chess against the 1% on Wall Street. He's the Gary Kasparov and Bobby Fischer of retail investors. Okay, him remaining silent for 3 years took discipline. Him breaking his silence now means there's a change on the board. And I just love this move. The guy just sat quietly while GameStop did its thing and they started piling up their shorts again. And just credit to him and for coming out there and blowing this thing up. And then 𝗕𝗙𝗢𝗕, some interesting info. He says it's a massive jump in volume today. That was yesterday. Okay, so 5 billion in volume came in, but it's nowhere near the 2021 pumpage. So what you've seen here is just a tiny little drop as to what could be happening or what could happen if this is going to continue. So, the last time it took quite a few days the way this thing played out. It didn't just disappear after a couple of days. So there could be a theme over the next while. And then obviously CPI tomorrow. We need to know, what's the story? And 𝗕𝗙𝗢𝗕𝗢𝗙 says...
Hold on. What's the story with the likes? That's the...
Guys, you heard Uncle Ray. Okay, if you like the content, if you're enjoying the content, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and I'll give you fireworks just like that. Magical. Okay, so CPI tomorrow. Thanks, Ray. I'm glad you stepped in there. CPI tomorrow. Okay, so we got PPI today. It came in flat. Okay, and tomorrow they're looking for lower CPI. Some of the guys are speculating, and fuckery, advanced fuckery, and super advanced fuckery could be the order of the day at the moment. We've seen they removed coffee or something that was up, say, a lot of percent. They removed it out of the index that they calculate the CPI on, just like that, just magically. It's no longer in the index. So maybe they are trying to, make that CPI look a little bit better, but the S&P is enjoying it at the moment. The S&P is just loving the current situation. And still, our major support that we're watching is the 50-day MA, 5145. Nothing changes here, and all-time high is around the corner. And the question I'm asking myself is, do we pump into all-time highs into CPI tomorrow, or do we pump all-time highs after CPI tomorrow? Because I think they're going to be interesting plays here. If this S&P turns super bullish leading into the CPI, well, it could be pretty interesting. So let's see how this all plays out here in the next while. Okay, Mr. Crypto's just giving some bullish source here on Bitcoin. We're going to look at the 2-day chart, but he's basically telling you that daily RSI has broken out. Okay, and the price is actually lagging. So he's saying yet another bullish indicator here. Now, we've seen so many reasons why this could be the potential bottom of BTC and all these things, multiple reasons. So there's a lot of these things adding up. Is this the bottom now? And, we're going to find out one way or another. We're either going to get absolutely rinsed if you are loading up longs here, or you're going to be feeling very proud of yourself in a couple of weeks. So we're going to keep watching these levels. This inverse head and shoulders, still what I'm watching here. 60K on the 2-day on the daily chart is still the big gun that we're watching, and no conclusive or no massive breaks yet of this trend. And until we get a huge break of trend, we can't get that bullish. We can't get that excited. You can see every time we get a little push here, it just gets met with a sell-off, little rejection, and these things come down. The alts bleed a little bit more, and they slap you around. If it wasn't for AI for the last week and these meme coins, sheesh, I don't know where the current altcoin situation would be, but it wouldn't be looking pretty. I can tell you that much. So Bitcoin waiting patiently on the daily chart. We want to see a big clean break here of this trend, then we can turn super bullish. Until then, we actually can't be that ultra bullish. So we got to hold the 60K. Let's confirm that this right shoulder is going to hold for us. Let's make sure this zone holds nicely there, and just be patient. Watch these areas. You can nibble at the 60K level on little pullbacks, and maybe if we're going to run into the CPI, we could get some potential entries in the next few hours here if there is another pullback on BTC. Okay, notable for me is dominance. We've been paying big attention to this and over the last few days, and it's reacting really nicely to this 4-hour chart that I've been running. So always obeying or listening very nicely to these horizontals. Look at that. So we had a nice pump here, we had a little rejection. What did they do? They bounced it on this horizontal at 55. Now remember, every time dominance bounces, you need to pay attention to Bitcoin, because if dominance is bouncing and Bitcoin is actually bouncing and pushing higher, then things are quite relaxed. The altcoins will do well. But if dominance starts bouncing when Bitcoin starts sitting flat or falling over, then we start feeling extra pressure on the altcoins. And you would have noticed now, if you were sitting in alt positions in the last couple of hours, you would have felt a little bit of pressure there on your altcoins, because we had Bitcoin chopping around and dominance climbing up. So that meant they were moving a lot of the money out of the alts into BTC. So just always pay attention to that dominance candle. Okay, here's some banger setups that I've got for you. Before we get into these memes, I've got 4 or 5 setups that I think could be playing out in the next 24 hours for us, and this could be an opportunity for us to take advantage of. And number one is Solana. This thing has been very, very quiet and no action, and I've been complaining to a few people that we haven't hit the 618 yet on Sol. So I would still like to see a little 618 touch here for Solana in this region to confirm that we are potentially at the bottom of the move. So my area number one, where I'm looking for a potential entry on Sol, area number one is 135. Okay, that is the big zone here for me. It's a 618 ping. That'll be tied in most likely with some weakness on BTC, maybe drifting into 60K. You might see some of the old sweat a little bit. And look out, 135 for Sol. If you are looking for entries, that could be an area of interest for you. And then a little bit lower down, this one is unchanged. Okay, I've got 120 to 118. That is a long zone for me. That's a much higher conviction long zone where I think we could get a nice little move here for Solana. So there's 2 plays here right now for you guys. If we get a wick onto that 618, look around. You can nibble around for some entries there. Maybe we're going to get some kind of reaction off that. And that is at 134 to 135. And then lower down, 120 to 118. Okay, next little banger I've got for you, we haven't spoken about this one in a while, is AVAX. Is there a range trade coming right now? Are we going to just play this range? So we can see what's happened here previously over the last couple of weeks. We had our lows, but what did they do? Pushed us up, rejection, pushed us up, rejection. Are we going to get our bounce here one more time? Is this going to play in with a little bit of weakness on BTC, maybe a little push down to 60K? Are we going to just load up and then get this little range move? If you think that that is potentially on the table, well, then this could be a great entry for you guys. So for me, I'm looking for entries on AVAX at this 31 region. Any dips into this area, for me, I'm going to start trying to build a little position here. We want to see what this looks like. We got to see the type of weakness we get, but ideally just looking for something along those lines, maybe a little wick below that 786, but somewhere in this 31 region, that's where we want to start looking for a potential move. And the upside of this play here is roughly 25%. So there is a nice little move potentially on the table, and you're going to see this on a lot of your altcoins that you are trading. We are moving into, I don't want to say critical levels, but we are moving into some very big areas where we could get some kind of reaction. So AVAX, that's on my radar now. And Injective, I've been waiting for this entry for weeks on Injective, and we might finally get it. So this was the massive dump that we had middle of April, and quite often we see these wicks come and get retested. So that could potentially be our double bottom that we're looking for on Injective. And are we going to get that? Well, if we do, the entry for me, you loving that, huh? The entry for me is around about 18 to 19. That is your zone. Okay, so just be patient. Get your alarms on your charts. If you get this drip down into that area, we're going to fill that wick nicely, and we're moving into some nice horizontal. Look at this. We're moving into horizontals on the daily, and that's telling me, after this little bleed out, that could be a great little bounce zone. Doesn't mean, once again, it doesn't mean it's the absolute bottom, but it does give us some kind of move. It is going to give us a nice little bounce zone. Worst case, maybe back into that resistance area. So you're going to get a 10 to 20% potential move there on Injective. Look for that entry in 18 to 19. Mark that one or put your alarms on. And here's CAS. Okay, is this the move now? Is this the move for CAS that we are watching? We've got a trend break. We've rejected off the 50-day MA. We've rejected off the 200-day MA. And now we've pulled into the 618 horizontal and trend. If this is a bullish retest, well, this is going to be the entry. And this one is so clean, and it's such an easy exit here if this is wrong. So it's a pretty simple play. You can look for these lows, and you want to look for exits when you start losing or closing under the 618. So your potential cash trade could look exactly like this. We got a little retest here, and look for an exit when we start closing under that 618 region. And ideally, you want to get that bounce. And if that's going to play out, you should see a little move in the next
average
couple
is that in the green there?
Repeat.
Which moving average is that in the green there? That's heading up.
200-day.
Oh, that looks good.
Day.
That looks juicy. That's a juicy trade by Dylan there.
This is what we're looking for. Okay, we're pushing this guy, something along these lines, little fuck around, maybe in this area, 618, play around, tease you, push you down, pump you up, those sort of moves. But that's a potential bullish player for CAS. Very clean exit, very simple play. And here I am. I'm trading CAS right now. I am sitting here on weeks at the moment, WEX. And here's my current positions. They are unchanged, other than I added a little bit to CAS and Fetch on this pullback. So here we are at the moment. CAS, it's now $12,200. And I'm going to exit. You can see my stop is very clear here. I'm exiting at 0.112. Okay, so there, my stop is preset for weeks. And remember, if you want to trade on weeks with me, you can go to the link in the description under the show, and you can click on the link for weeks and take advantage of their offer. There's 18 days left of their offer. There's a 20% sign-up bonus for you guys on offer there, and it's KYC friendly. And they are making changes, and they are making adjustments daily on this trading platform, and it's getting slicker and smoother every single day. And remember, this offer is not going to last too long. They are trying to get lots of users onto their platform, and because they've got so many big things happening there. So this offer is limited, and the time is going to tick away. So take advantage. 20% sign-up bonus on weeks. Get involved. Okay, let's go. CAS, we've covered. Okay, so CAS looking good. And next one is... I thought I had Celestia for Ray. I actually deleted that one. I had a Celestia set up. Ray, I've got a Celestia for you. Maybe we should bring that up just for old time's sake. Here's Tower. Okay, so this one is very interesting.
I have a
to me.
Tia for you. A Tia, not a Celestia, but a Tia.
Bro, I think I got a Celestia trade for you, bro. Okay, so BTC looking good. Yeah, this is Tower on the daily and moving into a hot zone. Now, moving into a zone where we really need to start paying attention. We can see the last time we had this regular RSI on the daily push to these types of levels, we had quite big move afterwards. Here was the previous occasion over there as well. You can see we had this nice big move, and I'm watching Tower now dipping into the similar region now. We've got a very oversold regular RSI. Does that mean this is the potential bottom? No, not necessarily, but I'm looking for a reaction in this region. So anything from 300 to 315, if we can get something in that zone, I'm looking for some kind of move in this area. So 300 to 315, loving that area at the moment. If the wheels come off, where's the next big zone? If everything falls over, where's your next big area? Always identify your next level. And if the wheels do come off there, your next big zone, unfortunately or fortunately, is 195 to 200. Okay, so if we lose this big one that's coming up here at 300, you're looking at another $100 move here on Tower. That could be pretty painful. Okay, Ray, let's get some likes for Celestia. If you guys want to hear Celestia, we'll get some likes. I'm going to crack on with some of these meme
subscribers for Celestia. I'll chase subscribers for Celestia, not likes.
I've got an interesting setup on Celestia that might be playing out. Okay, in the next, it could be in the next couple of days. So it might be worth your interest. Okay, subscribe, do what Uncle Ray needs, do what I need. Hit the like button, subscribe, hit the bell, all those things. I'm going to crack on through these meme coins, and then we're going to look at some Celestia. If Ray's happy with that, obviously he needs to be happy. Okay. Here we go. So here's Elio Trades, and he came out with a nice little tweet talking about meme coins and the thesis with this roaring kitty situation. Okay, and I mean, you can read. He's written an entire thread here for you guys, so you can go read all his comments at your leisure. But basically, he's highlighted a couple that he is interested in. Okay, so we've got Mog, Popcat, Toshi, SC, Michi, and I've chosen Mog and Popcat to show you guys today. And Popcat, we've obviously spoken about many times. And I think I brought this one up on the show a couple of days ago, and it's been performing relatively well. So here's Popcat at the moment on the 4 hour. And I said to the Sniper Club guys today that I was buying some Popcat. And you know, for me, it was worth the play here. So we've broken the trend. I've bought some Popcat here on this trend break. If this little theme and this meme run is going to continue, and they start leaning towards cats and kittens and all these things, I would expect some kind of action here on Popcat. And you can see it has responded relatively well over the last couple of days. I mean, we've had a 45% move. So what I'm watching here is I just want to confirm that the 382 or the 618 is going to hold. If we start losing these types of areas, if we start losing the 618 and these types of things, then I'm probably going to start trimming my Popcat position. But until we lose those areas, I'm going to be holding onto this Popcat, and I'm looking for bigger things. I'm looking for a much bigger move. And if this move continues, we just want to highlight some areas of interest. Where can this Popcat potentially push to, and what are potential targets where you can TP? So if you're sitting in Popcat, you always want to try and exit at reasonable areas where you could get a rejection. And you need to understand, when you move into these zones, these are the zones where they tell you this is where you must TP. This is where you must take something off the table. Otherwise, we often get these round trip situations. I mean, look at the last time we pushed into resistance. What did they do? They sent us straight down. So target number one for Popcat, if you are jumping in here, number one, 0.588. Number two, 0.659. Number three, 0.7318. Okay, those are the potential TP zones that you can watch there for Popcat. Keep your eyes on that. And support levels that you want to pay attention to, I would say number one is 0.46. Okay, there's a nice horizontal there. And your 618 and horizontal a little bit lower, 0.43, 434. Okay, 0.434. Watch that. And what is Zara saying? GameStop couldn't give two fucks about the criminal gang on Wall Street. Who else is here in the chat? How's my people? Cunning George says R-Whiff. Okay. Gia says Floki is. Going to lead this market to Valhalla. I might have Floki. Let's see what else we got. Joe says whiff down 10%. Ooh, that sounds like a whiff. That sounds like a hiding. Chris says Popcat. Yes. Let's see. Domaji says, what leverage for these plays? Well, what I suggest, if you are trading meme coins and things, you use as low leverage as possible and preferably spot. That's ideal because these things are so volatile. And if you are trading these other setups that I've given you, you can see the type of stops that you can look at. So, for example, AVAX, if you get it in your zone, you could get away with a stop here of about, say, 2.5 to 3.5%, give or take. If you want to try and take advantage of that potential trade. So use leverage accordingly. Remember, your leverage times your stop is your actual risk that you are going to use. So if you've got a 3% stop and you're using 10x leverage, you stand to risk 30%, obviously. Okay, so just look out for that and do the maths, do the calculation. And okay, here's MOG. Another play from Elio, and you can see we've broken trend. So, a decent little start here for MOG. But if you are bullish on this meme, I don't want to call it a season, but if you're bullish on this meme situation, and that it might be leaning into cats, you could start accumulating this thing. You want to start buying this thing and just watch your major supports. And the big support that you can see here for MOG is currently multiple zeros. 424. Okay, so watch your massive support zones. If you start losing these areas, that tells you then maybe this meme theory is going to fail and these things are then headed south. But right now, for me, this is looking relatively bullish. We've had a nice push, a little bit of a retest here, and I would like to see this thing start kicking on. So watch your big levels, but the trend break is there and things are looking decent. So watch your big levels here, 4248, somewhere in that area. That should be your support to hold. If you lose that, maybe you want to start cutting, maybe you want to start trimming, because then things are falling over, right? And that's a pretty big move. I see Chris is in the house. What's cracking, man? Long time, Chris. Let us know what's going on there. What are you trading? Okay, Peppy. Obviously, we're going to talk about this thing. This has been an absolute banger for me for the last couple of days, and we pinged our all-time highs. So we've hit our target, and true to form, what do? We get a rejection at major resistance areas. So you saw what I did there with Popcat, with your big TP zones and those type of areas. That's where you get your resistance. That's where you get your reactions and your rejection. So here we are at the moment. Peppy is rejecting currently after breaking all-time highs. So 0.0001084. This is your resistance band that you are paying attention to. But where am I interested in loading up here some more or adding to this potential move? Or what you do is you're going to pull your fibs from the low to the new high, and you want to just try and get some tie in there with horizontals as well. And you want to make sure they tie in nicely and look juicy. And right now that looks pretty good to me. So any move down to 936 is a nice little bullish pullback here on Peppy. So anything into that region looks good to me if they're going to send it a little bit lower down. And you can see by this rising trend and that things are bullish. So we just track this trend and we can trade this trend up. And once that trend breaks, then we know things are potentially turning a little bit bearish, and then maybe we are then heading south. But until that trend gets broken, no reason to stop being long or stop trading these type of. Looking good so far. So long may it continue. I see 𝗕𝗬𝗕𝗬𝗕𝗬 says Peppy to Valhalla. Let's see what else we got. Bruce says, go Christ. Bruce, you might have to elaborate a little bit there as to what's going on here. I see Farah says, we're here. Who else we got? Are we ready for the Celestia, guys? I mean, shall we do the Celestia? What are we looking like there, mate?
I mean, honestly, they came through with the likes. They did come through with the likes. Yeah, I would like to see them come through with the subscribers, but let's see how the likes are looking good.
Subscribe. Come on. We're going to give you Celestia. Okay, let's update this Doge situation. I mean, and talk about a round trip with Doge. Look at this thing. So we've pumped into our TP zone. And now yesterday I was telling you, look out for a pullback onto this horizontal. So we had a nice little horizontal area. And what did they do? They gave it twice. Bang, bang. So right now you're watching 0.145 for Doge. This is now your big area that you're paying attention to, 0.145. And you can see we've got a little 618, a little bit lower down, just below that. But watch that as your big support now. Watch that area. Look for that zone to hold. If we get a pullback onto that area, that's ideally your bullish bounce zone that you want to play. And hopefully there haven't been too many round trips here, even though you can see these guys round tripped us 1, 2, 3 times. I mean, Ray, you gotta love that. You know how close I closed my Myro trade last night. They round tripped me twice, and then I eventually, on that second rejection last night, I thought, no, I'm closing this thing, and I exited Myro, and you know, I didn't take the max profits out of that thing, but I left with something at least. So guys, remember, TP zones, use them. Okay, use them the same way you use your entry zones. Use your TP zones. Take advantage of them. They are there for a reason, and a double tap in the TP zone on Doge. So what you're watching now, if you want to try and be long here on Doge, 0.145, watch that area. You're looking for it to hold. We've got horizontals. We've got 618, and hopefully that is going to then hold out for you. Then alternate levels lower down, 0.141, and then the big low is 0.135. Okay, so watch those. What's happening?
They would have been in there if they're paying attention to Sniper Club. They got to get in Sniper Club.
Sure. I see Bruce says Sniper Club's in the house. NK is asking about render. Guys, I've covered render so much, and it's actually pushed down onto a 382.
Uh-oh. Come back, Dylan. Come back. I think we've lost Dylan, guys. Let me know in the comments. Do you guys see Dylan? I mean, do I have to take over the show? Is Dylan coming back? I hope the powers that be didn't take over Dylan. We need him. We need these Fibonacci's. Come on, Dill. Let's get it going. I mean, before I start pulling up a chart, I don't know if the community is ready for my charts. I mean, we could make it into a big show, but I don't think so. What's my favorite coin? I like the BRC20 coins. I feel like they'll have their moment in the sun. Let's go, Bruce. My best alpha is just hold tight on 3x leverage, and you'll be good to go come after the summertime.
Hey, bud.
Nice.
I was watching that. I think they're having a usual South Africa time out there. So,
Oh, definitely.
hold on.
I think he's coming back. He's coming back. He's coming back. We're bullish.
Hold on. Turn that off. Okay. Let's see if he makes it back in. If not, I'll help out. And he is on the way. All right. We'll let him do it. All right. What tokens you want to see? I haven't done any prep for this at all, but Ray, shall we do a couple charts together?
I mean, definitely. Let's check out Zeus, because that's been bleeding out like crazy.
All right. There we go. A little bit of light. Okay. BNB. Oh dear, really? All right.
No.
BNB. I haven't known BNB.
Yeah, BNB is good. Let's check that out.
All right, hold on a second, and let me bring that up. Present screen, BNB, share. All right, what do we got on BNB? Not one I normally trade, but here we go. On the 8-hour, we had strong resistance up over there. We've got a pretty strong support level right over here. I was definitely looking at this move last time I looked at it, and it looks like, let's take a look at that move from a fib perspective. We pushed up, and it looks like we've got ourselves a move down into that range right over here towards the down towards the 618 right over there. We lost the 50-day moving average, and we're literally just mid-range right over here. So if you're looking for a trade, I would wait until this cleanly bounces off this pretty solid level right there, right? Or for me, preferably, I would love to see this actually come all the way down to the bottom of the range and then pop from there, because now you're getting a decent bounce with a very clean exit, and you're talking about a 17% bounce off of that really clean area of support from there, and it would be sweet if it did that. And if the rest of the market keeps going like this, then that's probably likely. But if Bitcoin does find strength, then start looking for your possible trade at the 618 right over there. What's next, Ray? And no side of Dylan, huh?
No. Let's check out 𝗕𝗘𝗙.
Check out which?
𝗕𝗘𝗙.
𝗕𝗙𝗙.
𝗕𝗙𝗙.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
Here he is. We got him.
Oh,
guys,
we're bullish on your return.
Okay,
What happened?
So the story is it's got to do with something called CCOM, who run the internet, or some story. I don't know. Anyway, it's not my fault.
No. I was just sitting in the audience and Ray's going like, help. So
I mean, guys, you got Bruce out of bed. I mean, I
much.
appreciate
Hold
that.
on.
I appreciate that.
I would have pulled up
Apparently, it's a CCOM cable, and it's causing havoc here at the moment. So they are apparently sorting it out, but I don't have a giant ship, and I can't go sort it out. But anyway, I'm here.
Well, thankfully, you're
Well,
back.
carry on with what you were doing quickly, and I'll just compose myself quickly. So finish whatever
We
you were
just
doing.
did B&B because someone asked for it. So I was just going to do what kind of take requests. So you
So
want to
should I
jump in,
crack
or-
on?
Yeah,
crack on. Let's
okay.
go. Let's
Okay,
go.
let's crack on. Okay.
Smash the likes,
Guys, thanks
guys.
for coming to the
Let's
rescue.
Let's
Okay.
go.
So Doge, you got your areas. Hopefully I didn't cut out there, but Doge, we're looking for support buys here. Anything 0.145, you can watch that area down to the 618. So 0.144 looks okay to me. And then your big zones you've got 0.141 and 0.135. Okay. So Doge is covered. Here's another one that could be interesting. These Floki guys don't go away. And, they're pushing massive marketing campaigns and all sorts of things. If you actually look around as to what's going on with Floki, they've got a whole nother business happening. They're involved in RWAs as well. They've got their own layer one, I believe, as well. So Floki is looking interesting to me. Is this a potential late bloomer? And I just wanted to show you what it did not too long ago. Look at the size of this move that they gave us out of nowhere. Everybody had written Floki off in February. And we had a mini meme season. Well, now it looks like a pretty major meme season, but we had an 835% Floki pump. Okay, this means there's energy there. There's a community there. There's people that are interested in Floki. So what can you look for here? How do you play this one? Well, it's quite a simple move that I'm looking for at the moment. And I love seeing these type of setups where we're getting a rising trend pushing into resistance. It creates a nice little squeeze effect on some of these tokens. So what you're looking for is you can either ladder in now, as long as you're around about this 50-day moving average entry. So look at about 0.00184. Okay, that's a potential zone now that you can watch as support. And what is my next play here? My next play is a potential bleed out back into this trend line. We're looking for something along these lines and a little pop. So this little squeeze effect is really fun to try and play, and it's very easy to jump out. Okay, so if things start turning south and you start losing a trend, you can then identify these areas where you can bail. But as long as we're holding this trend, then we are looking for this little squeeze effect on something like Floki. So keep your eyes on this one. I think it could be a runner at some point. And, Doge is obviously doing its thing now. Not that exciting, but it's doing things. And SHIB could be next as well. And eyes on Floki. I like that it's finally broken this 50-day moving average. Now the bulls want to see the 50-day moving average hold for the next move. Okay, let's see. Stop loss. Auto says, what's the stop loss on Floki? So these are your options. Okay, this is how you could play this thing. You could use the 50-day MA as your support line number one, or your support marker number one. Why am I interested in that zone? Well, let's see what else we've got to tie in with it. So I've just zoomed in a little bit on a lower time frame. I just want to see what confluence we have here. So we're going to pull a fib, and we're just going to take a look and see what's in the zone. Bang. Okay, so we've got a 382 in play right now at 188. Okay, so it's struggling at the moment at the 382. I like the 50-day MA and horizontals a little bit lower down. So I quite like this region. Look at 00184. Okay, watch that zone, 00184. That could be an exit zone. And, those are the leverage plays. Those are the areas there where you might want to be jumping out on leverage. And if you are holding spot, well, it's much easier. You just sit back, you zoom out, and you watch this trend, and you watch what I've given you here. You watch this little setup, and you can see what I'm looking for. So any loss of this trend then could tell us that we are turning a little bit bearish, and then we might be coming to visit that 200-day moving average. So look out for that. And leverage traders, obviously, just be safe with these meme coins. You don't want they can get super volatile, and you can get slapped around very quickly there. 𝗕𝗬𝗕𝗬𝗕𝗬 says he's calling the SHIB army. Let's see what else we got. We got Ferdy says, Lord of Alpha dishing out the alpha. Appreciated. Yes, other than those internet issues. Okay, so Dupes today was jumping on this GME train. Okay, and he says the chart on the left was the GME on Sol trading at $120 million FDV, and the chart on the right was GME with hat was trading at 2.9. So here we are. Here's the left-hand chart. Okay, so this GME chart has been absolutely ripping, and you obviously know why with all the roaring kitty news. If this move continues, I would expect GME, this token, to obviously start climbing. It's a $100 million market cap, but there will be offshoots of GME, and you just got to dig around and find the ones that are interesting to you. Now, obviously, these offshoots are popping up non-stop. They're coming up all the time, and it could get interesting. One or two of them are going to be runners. So GME would be the mothership, I would say, at $100 million market cap. Let's see how this thing performs. If you are trading this guy, you want to just make sure you know where your levels are, and if we start losing areas and people start dumping this thing, you need to know where you can get out or where you can buy. So number one, I would say watch these regions right now. So your first support zone, 0.14. Okay, 0.14 is area number one that you want to pay attention to. So if we start dipping under this region, that's probably going to tell us that we are heading to 0.095. Okay, that is your next big potential zone. So I would watch these two areas if you want to take advantage of this GME thing. Look for some kind of pullback into one of these zones, and then you can start nibbling around. The last thing you want to do is by the top of a candle or the top of a specific pump, because then you can get hurt just as quickly in these meme coins. Here's the GME with hat that Dupes was talking about. So this one is a $1.6 million market cap. It obviously pumped a hell of a lot earlier. If this thing is going to continue, I suppose, it for a laugh, if you're putting a hat on something, I suppose there is maybe a narrative there that you can play with. So watch out for this one. 0.16 is current support that I'm watching right now. And we do have a little area lower down that you can watch over here at 0.08. Okay, so watch that guy, 0.08. That is another area of interest. And remember, these things are so volatile. So if you are trading this, you need to be careful. You can't ape into these things, and preferably ape on like major weakness and things like that into good support zones. If the narrative is going to continue and the communities like these tokens enough, they are going to pump them. But as it stands now, there are multiple tokens that are popping up at the moment with related to these type of things. Okay, I've got a 𝗕𝗘𝗢𝗕𝗓 situation for you guys as well. And it's teeing up quite nicely at the moment, and it's drifting into a little buy zone. So here's 𝗕𝗘𝗢𝗕𝗓. The first time it hit this nice horizontal zone, we had great reactions and we had a nice break of trend. So I'm expecting very much the same from 𝗕𝗘𝗢𝗕𝗓. I'm expecting some kind of move down into this box one more time, and then maybe a nice little push up from there would make sense to me. So, could history repeat itself? Well, potentially. So let's look for this move on 𝗕𝗘𝗢𝗕𝗓 into our support base here, and 0.040. Okay, so watch that zone closely. That could give us a nice little juicy bounce. That could give you guard mode entries for 𝗕𝗘𝗢𝗕𝗓, because remember, 𝗕𝗘𝗢𝗕𝗓 is its own media station. 𝗕𝗘𝗢𝗕𝗓 is its own alpha show as well. And here's the latest 𝗕𝗘𝗢𝗕𝗓 video. I'm going to play you. Let me play you a quick minute or two of this one. Let's just fire this thing up. There it is. Okay. Here's the latest 𝗕𝗘𝗢𝗕𝗓 video, and they actually dealt with roaring kitty as well.
Holy moly, he's back. That's right, folks. After a 3-year hiatus spent doing who the hell knows what, the godfather of meme stocks, the sultan of squeeze, the Raja of Reddit, has made a stunning return to social media with a cryptic post of a man in a chair. And in the last few hours, a series of clips from a seemingly random bunch of movies. GameStop has been pumping to Valhalla, so much so that the New York Stock Exchange suspended trading. Meme coins, and especially kitty coin, is mooning, and just about everyone is paying attention. Lucky for you, we've recently received some stunning leaked footage from Washington. And let me tell you, you have to see this for yourselves.
Mr. President, we have a problem.
Chill.
Okay, I'm going to let you go. I'm going to let you guys watch this at your leisure. So go follow 𝗕𝗘𝗙𝗢. Follow 𝗕𝗘𝗙𝗢 on Twitter. There, let's just pull this up for you. Go follow 𝗕𝗘𝗙𝗢 on Twitter. He's also got his own YouTube channel. Okay, so you can check him out on YouTube and on Twitter. It's Kurlson, and they're coming to you with banging alpha. And don't forget, when there's a sponsor on 𝗕𝗘𝗙𝗢, what they are doing is they are buying the tokens and they are burning the tokens. It's becoming deflationary. So the more people watching 𝗕𝗘𝗙𝗢, the more the sponsors will come to the party and the more tokens are going to get burned. So quite an interesting business model there for 𝗕𝗘𝗙𝗢, and you can see the content is flying through at the moment. So follow them, Twitter, follow them, and on YouTube, and follow me at the Lord of Entry. Bruce, thanks for stepping in there, saving the day. Ray,
you're always welcome, my brother.
Saving the day.
We got you.
Bruce in the Sniper Club. I saw he was active earlier today. Sniper Club is obviously one of the legends, is there. And go and see Bruce in the Sniper Club. There's a link in the description. Bruce, you can go have your coffee now. Thank you. Ray, shot. Okay, guys, cool. You got your Bitcoin levels, CPI tomorrow. That's really what we're waiting for. Let's see what the market does. I think anything leading into CPI is just going to be a little bit of a messing around, ups and downs, and playing games with us. So don't get caught in too many traps here if you are leverage trading. Just be patient, wait for the move, and there will be a move leading into CPI or one of those things. Something's going to happen tomorrow. There's going to be some kind of excitement. So just play it safe for now. You've got the memes. Be safe on those meme coins. They can send you to zero super quickly, but they can also make you a hero. So play safe. Let me find my end screen. Catch you later.